Imagine sending astronauts into space knowing every single calculation had to be perfect or lives would be lost. Now, imagine doing all of that as a black woman in the segregated 1960s when society told you that you didn't belong. That was the reality of Katherine Johnson, the brilliant mathematician whose mind helped America reach the stars. Welcome to Her Brainstorm with Jen Spratley. Sit tight, grab a cup of coffee, grab a tea or a glass of wine, and let's dig into the life of our girl, Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was born in 1918 in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. From a young girl, it was clear she was gifted. She loved numbers. She loved counting everything around her, from the numbers of steps she took to the stars in the sky. Her teachers saw her talent and pushed her forward, so much so that she started high school at just 10 years old. But let's be real. Being a black girl in the early 20th century America came with huge challenges. Schools were segregated, opportunities were limited, expectations were really low. Still, Katherine's parents encouraged her education. By 15, she was in college at West Virginia State, where professors created new math courses just for her. She graduated with degrees in mathematics and French at the age of 18. In 1953, Katherine joined what would later become NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Back then, she was part of a group called the Human Computers, mostly women who did the math by hand before we had electronic computers. But Katherine wasn't just good, she was exceptional. She calculated trajectories, launch windows, and emergency return paths for some of NASA's most important missions. When John Glenn was about to become the first American to orbit Earth, he famously said, "Get the girl to check the numbers." That girl was Katherine Johnson. Glenn trusted her brain more than the early IBM computers. She also played a crucial role in calculations for Apollo 11, the mission that first landed men on the moon in 1969 and later worked on the space shuttle program. Think about that for a moment. From the first orbits around the Earth to landing on the moon, Katherine Johnson's fingerprints were all over America's space history. But Katherine's brilliance didn't mean life was easy. She was working in a segregated environment, separate bathrooms, separate coffee pots. As a black woman in STEM, she had to constantly prove herself. Yet, she never let the barrier stop her. She simply said, "Tell me where you want the man to land, and I'll tell you where he'll be." For years, her work went unrecognized, but in 2015, President Barack Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the nation's largest honors. She lived to see her story told in the 2016 film called Hidden Figures, which introduced her and her colleagues, Mary Jackson and Dorothy Vaughan, to the world. Katherine Johnson passed away in 2020 at the age of 101, leaving behind a legacy written in the stars. Katherine Johnson showed us what it means to break barriers with brilliance, determination, and grace. She wasn't just calculating numbers. She was rewriting what was possible for women, for African Americans, and for humanity as a whole. So the next time you look up at the moon, remember that a black woman's mind helped put astronauts there. Katherine Johnson's story is proof that no matter the barrier, your gifts can take you to unimaginable heights. If this inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories of trailblazing women, and share this video to remind someone today, greatness knows no limits. I know that without a doubt, God has placed a gift in you and called you to greater heights. And He has placed a gift in you according to the Bible. The Bible says in Jeremiah 1:5 that God knew you before you were in your mother's womb. And it's time to walk out the call on your life. If you feel that tug in your heart or that desire for more, but you feel stuck or just don't know how to get started, please see the link in the description. And let's talk about your next steps. Until next time, go out and do what God has called you to do, because everything else is a waste of time. See you on the next episode. This has been Her Brainstorm with Jen Spratley.